thought I'd pop the camera on and show you what I've been doing today. Anybody that watches my channel knows I'm a big fan of Ann Melvin, Positively Papercraft, and she's had some really good videos on recently, and one of them was to do with you know, dabbling about with napkins and things like that, all different kinds of techniques using napkins. So I've had a go at a few. Now then, this one, or these few, I seem to have a lot of my napkins are in like these individual little squares, so that there's like 4 squares to one normal size square of napkin. So I thought, well, they'd be ideal to turn into a little set of note cards, you know, just to send off with maybe an ATC or just a little note to somebody or whatever. So I thought I'll do a little set of those. Now this one is it's a daisy napkin. I've got a couple of these, only a couple, so I wanted to be careful, didn't waste them. Now I've turned this one into a card, and one of the techniques that Anne used was to emboss on napkins, use an embossing folder. So what I did was I Mod Podged with the matte Mod Podge. I Mod Podged the napkin onto a piece of card. Then I used the sparkly Mod Podge over the top just to seal it, and then once that was dry I popped it through an embossing folder, which was this one back, and it's this one. It's a Sizzix one, but I've had it quite a while, so I don't know what it's called or anything, because I don't tend to keep packaging, but it's this one, and I popped it through, and then I thought, you know, it came up quite nice, but then I thought, well, I'll do Antonio's little trick of, you know, the little jar of gilding wax. So I just gently went over all the little raised pattern areas, and then just a bit more heavy around the outside where you would normally distress, and I thought it came out quite nice. So that's this napkin turned into a little card. And then the other thing that I had was, this is still drying, so I need to be careful with this one. So what I did was I stamped Zamira from Lavinia Stamps onto the, because they're already gessoed in white, these canvas boards, and then I stamped Zamira onto it. And I just thought, well, when the Mod Podge dries, it's going to be, you know, a bit more see-through. So hopefully, once that dries, you'll be able to see it better underneath. And then I had these napkins from, I think I got these from Mags Nash. She was one of the first ladies that I did a swap with on the ATC swap. And she sent me a couple of napkins. Well, actually she sent me quite a bundle of napkins with rabbits and butterflies on. So I thought, well, I didn't want to completely cover Zamira with a pattern, so some of these are like black and white, so I've put them on, and when it's fully dry I'll come back on and finish this video and show you what that looks like. So that's where I'm up to now. I've got another one with the squares that I'm going to do something with tomorrow, and I'll show you. I have done a little bit of footage of me doing these things, just so that you can see what I did, and then I'll tag that into the video as well, but I'll speed it up a bit to save time. Time is precious, isn't it, these days? We're already 1st of August. This year's flying by. Anyway, I'm waffling now, so I'll go off, I'll let all these dry and then turn them into something, and then I'll show you the finished products. Okay, thanks for watching. Hello, so this is another day and I've been watching the next Ann Melvin video. If you don't know Ann Melvin, I'm sure everybody that watches me does, but if you don't, she's got some absolutely amazing videos. I've learnt so many hints and tips over the last few weeks just watching her series of videos, you know, about embossing folders and what was the other one? So there's been mind-blowing ways to use embossing folders, and there's about 21 of those. Amazing ways to use up ugly papers, pattern papers that you don't particularly like. 21 of the best craft tools that you need. We've got 14 ways to use napkins in your crafting, and as I say, the one that I'm going to show you now is one of the ones that she included on the latest video, which was 10 insane ways to create backgrounds. I've never done this before, but I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. So basically this was the first one on her list of creating amazing backgrounds, and this one is actually using fabric as a background. So all I've done is, the way she did it was just to cover a piece of plain card paper, well, strongish paper, with double-sided adhesive. Now I've got a few. I've got a 4-inch wide one, I've got the inch wide, the 2-inch wide, and I've also got one that I got quite a while ago, and it's from a company called Wild Spider that are actually on YouTube. You can find them, and theirs is this much wide, and I don't even know what that is, but let's have a look. It's around 8¼ inches wide, so you can cover a whole sheet of A4 with this and completely cover it with what you want to use. But anyway, back to this. So I've just covered this in double-sided adhesive. As I said, I'll just I'll take the backings off and then I'll get. Okay, so that's the backings off, and this is very, very sticky now, so I try not to touch it too much. And then I've just got a piece of fabric that I'm just going to pop on and then just start to smooth it out. So it doesn't matter if it's creased when you get it out, you don't need to iron it or anything like that. Just smooth it out onto the piece of card with the double-sided adhesive. Now that's stuck down, and I'm just going to trim that off. And you don't need to be too accurate, because this is like a big piece of card that I'm going to trim down anyway. So I'll just finish doing this, so you don't need to watch me doing that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's my piece of fabric trimmed and stuck down to a piece of card, and what I'm going to do now is put it through a 3D embossing folder. Now I'm going to use this Sizzix 3D embossing folder. I don't know what it's called, I'm afraid, but it's like you know, I don't know, but anyway, so I'm going to use this one. Hope you can see that. And the trick is to just give a very light spray on the back of your card. Just a quick spray of water. And that's just to help, you know, the embossing folder to really press through. Okay, so I'll pop that in. I'm just going to take it through a couple of times just to make sure it really gives a good impression. Okay, so that's the back. You can see it's gone through fairly well. Now this is quite a dark fabric, so I don't know how quite well you're going to see the impression that that's made. And then I'm just going to trim this down, and that can be used as the background for a card. And I'll do one with a lighter coloured fabric, so hopefully you'll be able to see a bit better. Okay, so this is a different Sizzix at 3D embossing folder that I've used for this lighter coloured piece of fabric. Now I've had this fabric a long time. It's actually gorgeous scale fabric that I got from eBay a long time ago, but you can hopefully see how it's done the impression onto the actual piece of fabric. So now I can use these as backgrounds for a card or whatever I want to use them for. And again, this is the other one that I did. I'm just trying to get the light to catch, but you can see on the back how well they've embossed, and the same with that one. So I'll come back to you when I've done something with them. Okay, so just to bring out the embossing a little bit more, I am using a little bit of the gilding wax. And if you just rub over the raised areas, it will bring out all of that embossing so that it can be seen a little bit better. And it's just brilliant. Look at that. So that is gorgeous now. Look. So that's that one. I'm not sure if I want to use gilding wax on this one. This is definitely going to be more of a background one. Okay, so I've just actually found this in the drawer while I was looking through my bits of stash and what have you. And it's actually, I don't want to shine it too much, it's glitter fabric that I got from Alina Craft Store on AliExpress a while ago, and it's lovely. So I thought I'm going to have a go at embossing this and see what it turns out like. I'll get back to you and show you. So with the glitter fabric, I've used this embossing folder, which is another Sizzix. I tend to like the Sizzix for 3D just because they are quite thick and they're very good at doing the job. And this is the emboss that you get with it. I think it's beautiful. It's a lovely one. That's the other side of it. And then you just have this lovely embossed fabric background for your card. So that's 3 I've done now. I'll show you them all when they're finished. But I just wanted to show you some of the little bits and bobs that I finished off. 2 of them I've kept behind because I think they're going to be good for Jane Davis's having a new collab, so I'm going to use those for those. But for these ones, this is the fabric that I embossed in an embossing folder following Ann Melvin's tutorials, and again, honestly, go and watch her videos, they're amazing. And I've just used one of the girls from the Santoro Willow and put a flower in her hair, sorry, a butterfly in her hair, because she already has like birds and things, little bird there and where have you. So I thought, oh well, I've not put a sentiment on this yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to use that one for. So that's that one finished. This one was the you know, the very sort of old-fashioned, I don't know what you call it. I wish I'd kept the packaging to these embossing folders, but if you keep packaging as well as things, you just end up with like so much stuff and not enough room. But anyway, stop moaning. This was a piece of fabric that I already had these like goldy speckles in, and it was the dark green fabric, so I just went over it with the gold gilding wax, and the little sentiment that I've put on is "Beauty lives with kindness," and I've just gone over that with some glossy accents. And the lady, this one is from the Princess Stamperia collection. So I just fussy cut her out and stood her on there. And again, I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but you know, it's just handy to have these in your stash, isn't it, for when you want something. So that's her finished. And this one, I just turned it into a Christmas card. So I cut out the poinsettia, however you say that, some little holly leaves with a few little gems as berries, and just the sentiment that says Merry Christmas. I may stick another couple of little bits around, I'm not sure yet. But again, these were just ones that I was making for my stash and just practicing. Again, this is like the glitter fabric that I got from Molina, and I embossed it, and it just looks lovely. And it holds its emboss as well, because it's stuck to a piece of card before you emboss it. It just keeps its shape. So that was that one. Now this one was if you remember, it was the piece of canvas, the canvas board. You know, the ones that you get for like 6 for a couple of pounds from the works or something. And I'd stamped on the Zamira from Lavinia Stamps, and so I just covered this in, this is a napkin. The butterfly bit is napkins, or a napkin that I just put on with Mod Podge matte underneath, and then I just went over it with the sparkly Mod Podge, and I think it came out really well. I was a bit worried that Zamira would be too covered and you know, you wouldn't really be able to see her, but actually once it all dried, she came out lovely, and she's just there with all the butterflies and what have you, and I've just popped on some little flowers and gems and things, and a little bow up in the corner. And what I've done is stuck a piece of card paper that was, it's this from this pad. Let me show you. From this pad that was from the works, and it's just, you know, got foiled paper. So I stuck a piece of that onto a piece of card and then popped the canvas board onto it, and then what I did was just made it into a tent fold, cut it down, scored it by 1/2 inch so that it will stand. I've put 2 pieces of card at the back to make it a bit stronger so that it can stand without any problem. And again, I'm not sure, I don't know if my camera angle is right there, just come in a bit. So I'm not sure who this is going to be for yet, but as I say, I needed to top up my stash a little bit of things that I've got ready to send out or to give away or whatever, for whatever I want to do. Now then, these are the other things that I did, and I've popped too far behind, so we'll just stand over there. Then I made these again with napkins. I just finished off this little set of notelets that I will pop into a box and maybe send out as Happy Mail or something like that. And these are just A7 size little notelets, and they actually measure, that's 3 by 4, 1.25. So that's those. That's a little set of notelets. And then this one was the daisy napkin that I also embossed and then went over with a bit of gilding wax and just popped a little sentiment on, so that's another card ready to go. So that's my little makes for this week. I just wanted to show you what a kind of thing I've been doing, following just a couple of the Ann Melvin examples from her YouTube videos, and really the series that she's doing, you know, 20 best ways with this and 20 best ways with that, and you know, napkins and all kinds of things, embossing folders. It's a really good series, and I can only highly recommend that you that you just go and watch it if you've not already seen them. So they are my examples from the Ann Melvin tutorials. Okay, I shall leave that there, because otherwise by the time I edit this video it's going to be miles long and nobody's got time for that, have they? Time is precious these days. So that's it for now. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you. Bye bye.